Welcome to our Grade 12 Accounting Channel YouTube handle, Excel Q5D, your home for Grade 12 accounting success. Igratwatlinus. In the previous video, I think it was in the November 2022 Paper 2 paper, we managed to do event evaluation. We did the FIFO and the specific identification, but we had not yet covered the weighted average. So in this paper, the June 2022 paper, we can get a chance to do those calculations. So let us meet on question 3.2. 3.2, and I would do 3.2.1, and then we see how far we can go. All right? So let's start with our 3.2.1. And the question reads, calculate the value of closing stock of pots. So we want to calculate the closing value of the pots. And in this question, they are using the weighted average method, the weighted average method. All right. As you can hear on the top, the ports are valued using the weighted average method. So if we want to calculate the value of our closing stock, we have to see the information, and here is the information provided. So we know that when we are calculating, we have to divide our rent values by our units. So we will need our opening stock, a thing that is easy to pick. We have our 224,000 there, 224,000. Then the units are 800 at the bottom, 800. Then the next thing we need are purchases. Then we add carriage. Then we subtract returns. In this paper, we have net purchases. That makes it even easier for us. So I'll come here and I'll say plus 1,717,000. Then I'll come to the bottom. Then I'll have my 4,700. Therefore, it will give me the average price. That is 352. 352. Once you have your average price, you now have to multiply that by the number of units and the closing stock. So you have 980 units, and you multiply that by 352. That would therefore give you 344,960. That becomes the value of closing stock using the weighted average method. The next question then comes, and it says, Lorato is unsure how long it would take to sell the closing stock of pots. How long it will take to sell the closing stock of pots. All right, so the closing stock is 980, but we also have the rent value of it. So I'm going to do two methods. The first one is using the rents. I'll take the closing stock, which is my 344,960. I want to know how long it would take to sell these ones. But I know that this year I have cost of sales of 1,591,040. This was for the 365 days. So I have two values here. I have the rent and the days. And what I want is the 344,960 in rents to be expressed in days. So I say 344,960, that is what I want, over what I have, which is 1,501,040. Then I multiply this by 365 days. Okay, so what I'm simply saying is, if this was my cost of sales for 365 days, how many days is 344,960 going to take? So you then get your 79.1 days. The answer must be in days. The other option is to use your units to say, I want to know how long it would take to sell 980 units. I want to know how long it would take to sell 980 units. Yet I have sold 780 units in 365 days. I want to know how long it would take to sell 980 units, yet I have taken 365 days to sell 4,270. So I say what I want is 980 over what I have, 4270, multiply by 365. And then that will give you 83.8 days. You can use either option A or option B do not write both. Just choose one, depending on which one is easy for you. If you pick A, then you should have this as your answer. If you pick B, then you should have this as your answer. Do not write both, okay? I would encourage that you can choose one method and you stick to one method. And your answer must always be expressed in days. How long? How long your answer must be expressed in days depending on the demands of the examiner. All right, due to my time constraints, I'm just going to do 3.2.3 now, and then we'll end this video. It says, calculate the number of parts missing. There are several ways, again, of doing this. Several ways. But I just want to do it from what we have learned in grade 10 as well as in grade 11. I'm going to open what we call a stock account. But this stock account is going to be in units. So I'm opening a stock account, but it is in units. All right. So again, I'm going to say opening stock. My opening stock is 800. As you can see here, my opening stock is 800. Do I have purchases? I'm going to come in and say purchases. All right. And my purchases is 4,700. And then, do I have sales? Did I sell any units? Sales. Yes, I sold 4,270. So come and say sales, 4,270. Do I have closing stock? And my closing stock for this year is 980. My closing stock is 980. All right. So the basic understanding here is that this is a stock account. So on the debit, it will increase. On the credit, it will decrease. So I'll say 800 plus 47. That'll give me 5,500. Then he gets 5,500. Then I say 5.5 minus 4,270, 980. Therefore, the difference becomes your missing. And in this case, your missing is 250 units. So here you end up with 250 units that are missing. Okay, remember, guys, to practice internal controls for your stock. Internal controls are very, very important. Internal controls are very, very important. All right, I'll see if I'm able to do again a video where we can do our tangible assets calculations. But I want to encourage you to also go and study and prepare your tangible asset calculation as well as problem solving of tangible assets. Very important that you prepare your problem solving on tangible assets, because at times we only think of tangible assets calculations and we forget the problem solving on tangible assets. I'll see if we're able to do that video on tangible assets problem solving as well as calculations. All right, guys, we're going to end this video now. GS, bye-bye. So, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and start your journey to accounting excellence today with Excel Q5D. Grade 12, Accounting Simplified. Learn smart. Revise fast. Excel always.